information and some good stuff from Dave Ramsey. You know, some people say, you know, money is bad. Money is evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. But that's a wrong interpretation of Scripture. 1 Timothy 6:10 says it's not money that's the root of all evil, it's the love of money. It's a love of money. And Jesus spoke so much about money in Scripture. You know why? Because he knew what kind of grip money can have on us. It can get a tight grip on us. I went on missions trips, and when I was on this particular missions trip, every single problem that we had run into, the solution I had for it was money. Hey, we need to cut the weeds in this cemetery. Here's some machetes. And I'm like, there's a dude with the weed whipper. Why don't we give him a 10 spot and we go sit in the shade? This is about 95 degrees and I'm not great with the machete. The car that we rode in, they'd fill it up with water jugs full of fuel. And it says at Quick Trip, you can't even do that. It's not legal. They fill it up with, there was more clunking and clanking in this vehicle. There was 3 lug nuts. It's supposed to be 6. We need, you take this car to the shop. Every moment, we need to fill the gap with money. And there's a window into our soul of how money has that grip. That money's the answer. When we look at missions, hey, these people on the other side of the world, they need money. Let's give them our money. You know what? Money is not the answer. They don't need money. They need Jesus. And if we give them money without Jesus, they might just become like Americans. Money's got a grip on us. Dave Ramsey said, money is like a brick. Money's like a brick. You can use it to smash a window or build a hospital. But it's all how we use it. Just like a brick. It's just a thing. It's just paper. But why? Why do we not even want to talk about it sometimes? If I see we're talking about finances in church and I want to run out the door or strike the pastor, why is that? If it's just paper, if it's just a unit of exchange. See, money isn't bad. We just got to figure out how do we use it. And what's the problem with our finances be a nightmare? Here's I think some of this I stole and some of this is from me. So, but this is why this is important. It's because broke people can't feed the starving. When there's a need and you're financially upside down, you can't meet it. Broke people can't build homes for the homeless. Broke people can't pay for Bibles to be given to those who don't have one in their own language. So we need to manage what we have. And we have great opportunity in America. Great opportunity to make money. And invest. Invest in things with kingdom impact that lives forever. Think about that investment we made when we got those ornaments. You know, it's like, okay, it's a dumb ornament, right? But it had a purpose. To bring Jesus and bring light into the darkness. We need to invest and be light and light, be his ambassadors. And it's tough to do that if we are a slave to debt, if we're drowning in our finances, if the financial burden we carry is too heavy to even walk. So we need to get it right. We need to bring things on the right track and manage our resources well, manage what God has given us well. 4 things that we need to do to honor God in this area of our lives. 1, rein in our spending. Hold them floodwaters back. Rein in our spending. 2, create and live off of a budget. Some of you guys live off a budget every single week. Some of you guys made a budget a decade ago and you kind of remember what it looked like. But live off of a budget. We're going to talk more about that next week. So rein in our spending. Create and live off a budget. Get out of debt. Proverbs 22:7. The rich rule over the poor. The borrower is slave to the lender. We're not here to be slaves to someone else who's making millions, who's buying multiple vacation homes off of our hard work, right? God says you can't serve both God and money. It's either one or the other. So we got to get out of debt. 4, we got to save. Save. Dave Ramsey suggests 2 things. 1, $1,000 emergency fund. Because the fridge will break. The lug nuts will fall off. The furnace will shut down. It's a rainy day fund because we know the rain is coming. $1,000 emergency fund. 3, and then savings of 3 to 6 months wages in the bank if you lose a job or something like that. So save. Have some savings. And last is put God first. Do you love how I put that last? That makes a lot of sense. Don't worry, I fix it at the end. Put God first. This is the tithe. We'll talk about this. But if you don't obey God in this area, I promise it will not go well with you in any other area. If you do not put God first, here's what I hear all the time, okay? I don't know if I don't love to hear this, but I hear so often people's explanation of why they don't tithe and why they don't give what God asks them to give. And they have this long explanation. And it makes kind of a lot of sense when they say it, but in the end, there's a lack of obedience here. And when we don't follow God, it doesn't ever go well with us, does it? So we got this long explanation of why we do what we do, but in the end, it's not between us and the pastor. It's not between us and our friends or us and our parents. It's between us and God. And we'll look more at this. But I got to put God first. I got to put God first. I got to understand that He owns everything. I'm just a manager, and He has entrusted me with something. And it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. I need to manage His money well. All the resources He gives me well. That's what I got to do. So here's our takeaways. I'm going to flip it around now. Put God first. Put God first. We've got to rein in our spending. We've got to create and live off a budget. We've got to get out of debt and save.